Hey everybody, it is Nim slash Jasmine with another video for you today. And I've recorded this so many times. I've been having issues back and forth, not knowing what to talk about. My cat making so much noise. He just decides that the second I talk that he wants to play with his loudest toy. And then he even turned on my wife's computer, which then made another noise. It's like, bro, let me do this. But anyway, it is 2024. Happy New Year, and this is my first video of this year, and I'm excited. So, if anybody made any resolutions they want to share, feel free to comment below. I mean, if you just want to say you made them, I love to hear that anyway. I made some myself that I probably won't be sharing, at least not right now, because I think it'll be much more effective for me personally if it stays in the noggin of mine. So yeah, let's move into the piece. I am doing finishing touches on an illustration that is done with Ohuhu markers on smooth Bristol paper. And then for the finishing touches, I am using Posca paint pens, which scared me the whole time. You can see kind of my hesitation when I'm doing it. I go back and forth a lot because I don't know if I didn't know if I wanted to do black. I didn't know if I wanted to do color. And so I just decided to go for the black, which I think overall it came out really well. I still have yet to scan it in and kind of play around with it, but we'll see what happens then. So now segueing into the main point of what I would want to talk about today is the fact that I, in a way, dropped my dream to become a professional artist. So I would say it's definitely the activeness of it that I dropped, not pursuing that. And honestly, I feel really good letting that go. I feel like it's a difficult thing for me to still admit because I've been wanting to be a professional artist um, since middle school, starting with wanting to be a mangaka, and I still want to make my own story, hopefully one day. Um, or, then I wanted to be an illustrator, then I wanted to, so on and so forth. And I think that that pressure ended up being so harmful for me. And I realize now with me kind of letting that go and going back to it being a hobby for me, which I'm very glad that and fortunate to have that decision, because I know some artists who don't have that decision, and it can mess with their creative process as much as art is enjoyable for everybody. Just having that pressure of having to perform just changes the whole thing. And I felt that personally because I put that on myself. And even letting that go, it felt like, sometimes I feel like I'm a failure for doing that, which is not true. Definitely not true. And I don't think anybody would be a failure for that, too. I think that it's just that belief or, that pressure to find a job that's like a passion. But anyway, so I've let that go and I've become more of a hobbyist again. And even when I was being a hobbyist, I was still pushing myself on a regular basis. Like I would say, oh, I have to do this and I have to do that. Or even when I was making something, I'd be like, okay, well, how would people think about it? And I mean, it's like, of course, like you think you let it go and then it's still there, it's still present. And so it was just constantly in and out. Like I felt like I had to draw all the time, you know? And even when I wanted to draw and I had no content personally that was coming out, it would then, I would get really mad and frustrated with myself instead of just taking it as an opportunity to be like, okay, I physically cannot draw anything because my brain is just nothing. I want to feel the action of moving my hand, but there's no intention behind it. And that just doesn't work for me. Like, I realized that just was not working for me. And so, yeah, this is a dream that I had. I'm currently 26, and this is a dream that I've had since middle school, so maybe like 10, a 16, almost 16-year dream um, that I'm putting on the back burner finally. And, it was that constant comparison too. Like, looking back at sketchbooks I used to do in middle school or in high school, like the ideas just kind of flowed. Like I could fill up the whole sketchbook with random ideas. And then as time went on and I tried to refine those things, and, you know, that really took a turn for me officially in college when I did art school. And even though I did art school for only a semester, that sketchbook that I had there, I could not finish. I physically could not finish because the energy was so bad in it. My mental health was so bad, and like it just went like it dropped so fast. And then I felt like since then I've been struggling to kind of rekindle that joy and that spark, and like just letting those ideas go. And I don't know, this is kind of where I'm at right now, and I think there's more for me to think about um behind that, the reasoning behind that, as to why that's going on. But I know that for me, this is a really good step, is to let that go, to take away that pressure that I put on myself, and relearning art as a passion or as a form of expression that is an option for me. And I think, you know, that is a fortunate position to be in, for sure. And of course, as being an artist professionally is also a fortunate position. It's good and bad everywhere. Um, and yeah, like something I realized as well is that in my content, in my journey of being an artist, it is still hard for me to kind of, or not, it isn't hard for me anymore, but this idea of like saying I am this artist and then having to commit to that idea of doing that for me is scary. um I I don't know how much I've heard that from other people, but I mean, I like to draw it all. I think you can kind of see that in my channel as well, that I've done realism, I've done character stuff, I've done animals, I've done furry. Um, I mean, and I'd like to even draw architecture and things like that. And like, that's just how I am. And um, not that that's better or lesser than anybody else, but like, I would try to claim this whole I'm just a jack of all trades and that's that. But I think at some level, it's also the fear of commitment, of feeling like I'm claiming that and then I have to follow through with that. That if I say I'm an animal artist, then I'm going to have to draw animals for, because that's what I claim to the public. And yeah, I mean, that's a scary thought sometimes, that for me to have to commit that. And I mean, now I feel like if anybody were to ask me, okay, what do you like to draw the most? That's a way easier question to ask. With saying, what do I like to draw the most? It's definitely a mix between like my characters and then, but most definitely like by itself. The reason why I like drawing my characters is because, I role play with my friend. And of course, that's fun and entertaining for me. But I like to draw really cute things. I like to draw small creatures. I like to draw chibis and things like that. And that's my jam. And I know that on paper, but then doing it and executing it has proven to be difficult for me. And I think that's where I have this direction, but I don't know exactly where to go with that. And then having that pressure of, okay, I need to perform when I have a direction, and I need to go down it a little bit before I can say for sure. That's what was freaking me out. That was what was studying my growth, you know? So yeah, I'm somebody who wanted to be a professional artist actively, and now I'm a hobbyist. And I think that um, letting that go has been really good. And I think that it's important to have somebody out there just in case if somebody's in that same position and they just constantly have that stress. Not a failure. I'm not a failure. Whoever's out there doing the same thing is not a failure. It's whatever the path just chooses to go. And that's just how it is. So, yeah, that's it for my speaking portion anyway. The video's still going. I appreciate everybody for listening so far. And um, if you can, like, subscribe. I'm planning on posting more videos, um, doing more talks, comment your thoughts, anything. I appreciate any engagement. But even if you don't, I appreciate you listening this far and participating in that. And so for the rest of this, I will be playing some music. And thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your January and into the next months. Adios.